This is Unit 4, Lesson 5, Beyoncé Part 2. In this lesson, we're going to review how to conduct an SRS, which is a simple random sample, and also we're going to compare smaller samples to larger samples to see what happens when I have a bigger sample. Go ahead and turn to your lesson, which is this one here, the Part 2. And it says, in the lesson we use technology. In lesson 4.2, so in 2 lessons ago, we used technology to find a random sample of 5 words from Crazy in Love. Describe how we did this. So if you remember, what we did is we went to the song, and these are the lyrics, and we labeled each word with a number, and this is what it looked like. So that was step 1. Step 2, we went to our calculator, and we went to rand int, so menu, probability, not distribution, excuse me, random, integer. And we had, if you noticed, it says on here we had 297 words. So we went from 1 to 297. And then we wanted 5 words. So we hit enter. And so then we went to words 281, 270, 44, 153, and 121. So we went to words 281. So I see over here at word 281. And word 281 is the word I, and it has 1 letter. So then we went to the next one, which is word 270, and word 270 is the word your, so at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Anyway, we did that with all 5 of them, added them up, and then divided by 5 to find the average letters of the 5 words that we picked. Now, notice it says 5 unique numbers, which means if I did not get repeats, but if I had gotten, let's say, 281, 270, 44, then 281 again, I would want to skip 281 because I already chose it. How could you take a random sample using slips of paper? So I could just write a word on a separate slip of paper, but I have to make sure the paper is the same size and everything looks the same, and then put them in a hat, I'd mix it or shake it, and choose 5 slips of paper. So how to use an SRS is, first of all, step 1, you're going to label it, just like we did with here. Then you're going to do some sort of randomized treatment where you're going to either put them into a hat or you're going to use a calculator, and then you're going to select how many you need. So first of all here, I want you to go back to your section and I want you to copy the dot plot of what we have. And the dot plot here from what we had before is displayed here. And notice I showed you the actual mean was 3.53, and my n equals 5. That means I took 5 samples of words per dot. So each dot is, which is number 4, is a random sample of 5 words selected from the Crazy in Love song, and the average word length of 5.6 was the sample. And that's what we got in our sample, was 5.6, which you see where I circled it. So now what I want you to do is do the same thing, except instead of 5 words, do 10 words. And if you notice, what I did is this is what the class got in this graph, and then this is what the class got in the second one. So how is the dot plot from number 5 different than 3? You can see that it still has the same center. You can see it's still centered around the same thing, but the variability is squished, which is how spread out it is definitely less. So you can see the conclusion is, as my sample size gets bigger, my variability is going to get smaller, and I get closer and closer to the actual true mean. So the 3 things that you need to see in this lesson is that the 2 things, I'm sorry, is how to select an SRS, which the process is there for you. And secondly, what sampling variability is. Each random sample produces a simple, a different estimate, which means you're going to get different you're going to get a different result than the person sitting next to you. And then as the sample size increases, it estimates the variability and estimates the decrease. And here's the checking for understanding. You can see and go ahead and make sure that you do the check for understanding and you're able to follow the process. And then if you have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.